welcome to Messages of Hope. This is episode 1 of a 10-episode series that I have the great privilege and honor to share with you. And these messages are based on my book, Messages of Hope, that I recently published. And it really is my greatest desire and hope to inspire you, to give you tools and information about what's happening, what's going on in our world, why does it look the way it does, and what you can do to help find that balance within yourself, to find that place of hope, so that you're not falling into the negativity of what you see out there in the world, that you really have choices. And so the messages that come through me, I'll talk about them in a little bit later on, is inspired information, is channeled information, is from spirit, and it really has helped me over the years to find that place of peace from within. And so as you tune into this series with me, I'm going to give you lots of information, lots of inspiration, and lots of support to find that place within yourself, and to not get dragged down into the negativity and the worry and the fear that so many people are going into anxiety, knowing that you can make conscious choices around all of this. So I'll be giving you information and tools to do that. I'll be sharing some of my own stories and experiences with you, that because I've had lots go on in my own life. And so I want to start off by telling you how these messages came about, and also to the name of this first episode actually is The Decade of Light, and it's based on the years 2010 to 2020. And the book, my first book, is volume 1. It's the first 5 years of the messages, and then volume 2 will be published in 2020. So it came about in a newsletter on December 31st, 2009. Now, I normally get that newsletter out really early, and around the 15th of the month, and it just wasn't happening. And then on December 31st, 2009, the message came through, and they talked about the Decade of Light, and how we would have 10 years of receiving an enormous amount of light for our personal transformation, global transformation, and the universal shifts. So we know light illuminates the darkness, and we all have darkness within us. We all have fears and worries and doubts. And so what's happening with the transformation that's going on globally, universally, spiritually, is that it's really dispersing the negative energy within us. It's bringing it to the surface in our world. It's bringing it to the surface with us. There's so many things going on that all of a sudden you go, oh, I thought I dealt with that, and all of a sudden there it is again. And it really is for us to be able to acknowledge it, to shift it, transform it, and to really know that this is something magnificent happening, not something terrible happening. The shifts we're going through are unprecedented. There are more people waking up to their, what's real for them, what's authentic for them, to a higher consciousness, and to their spiritual self. And this decade is bigger than the 60s. And we all know the 60s was a pretty big decade. A lot of enlightenment happened during the 60s. And now we're in another period of intense awakening, increasing all of our gifts and our awarenesses and our sensitivities and our intuitiveness. So this 10-episode series is going to give you lots of tools to help you to deal with the stuff that's coming up in your own life, and to deal with what's happening in the world as well. So one thing I'm going to ask you to do for each session, each episode that we do, is set an intention. Intentions are very powerful tools that you, when you get clear on what it is that you want to create, then literally you attract the energy for that to happen, and to help the circumstances unfold that are appropriate for what those desires and intentions are. So for this half hour we're together, just take a moment and set an intention. Think about, what do you want to get out of this half hour? Maybe it's peace, maybe it's clarity, maybe it's just feeling good. But take the time to make yourself a priority for this 30 minutes, and just take a breath and feel that on the inside. Feel yourself center, feel yourself get peaceful, feel yourself being able to receive. So the messages help you to become aware of how much you have shifted, how much you've shifted consciously, and to be able to create the rest of this decade, which is only, another year, a little bit left in it, in a more conscious way. And through the series, I'm going to talk, I'll share a little bit more about myself and about us and how all of this came about for me, and to tell you a little bit more about who us is. And us stands for United Souls of Heaven and Earth. And they're non-physical spiritual teachers that speak through me. They bring messages and information that really help the evolvement, the enlightenment of humanity, and it creates a gateway between the seen and the unseen. And I'm a conduit, I'm a channel that brings through the energy, the messages, and the vibration of us, and it comes through in the vibration of joy. So actually, you'll feel, my hope is you'll feel the energy as we're actually reading the channel from the book. I'll read it word for word for you. And I want to tell you just a little bit about myself. The word joy, when I led a very traditional life. I was a mother and a wife, and I had a dance studio. And the tagline for the marketing for my dance studio was "Experience the joy of dance." And now it's just gone grander and bigger to experiencing the joy of life. So I went through a lot of some pretty major losses and tragedies in my life that really opened me up, cracked my heart wide open, and expanded my own awareness so that I was just aware of so much more. And it really brought me to my knees, and it offered me an opportunity to take a deeper look at myself. And I started journaling. And it was when I was away I would start journaling, and I would write us, just capital U, capital S, and the words "Your Council of Light." And I knew that these messages were coming from somewhere far greater than my own consciousness or my own awareness. And I wrote for 6 years, and they were specifically to me and about me. And then they became much broader and grander, talking about more expansive things and about helping to expand within me and within, my knowledge of the world and the universe. And when I would ask us, "Who are you and where are you from?" they would always say to me, "We are you and you are us, and we are all one." And when I heard those words in my head and I wrote them on the paper, it just resonated with me. And so it is bringing us the beautiful energies, divine energies, through our physical experience now. And I've traveled the world teaching at different retreat centers, doing group channels, private channels, and the experience is always the same: a sense of upliftment and a shifting of energies that keeps us as humans feeling weighed down, heavy, allowing us to the messages help us to transcend that heaviness and to have greater access to our divinity. So a little bit about me, a little bit about us, and when we come back, I will read the channel messages word for word, and just know that it's a transmission not just of the words, but of the energy that us brings through me for you. And as I'm reading it, I'll expand on the teachings around key points and explanations as we are going along, so you can apply these messages in your everyday life, and that's the key. So I encourage you to get a journal, get some paper, make some notes, and we will be right back. Welcome back. For those of you who may have just joined us, I will be giving you a message about the Decade of Light. And what is that all about? I will be covering a lot of information in this short 30-minute episode to inspire you, to support your personal growth. So sit back, relax, allow yourselves to receive the words and the energy from us, United Souls of Heaven and Earth. And it's the first chapter of my book, actually, is The Decade of Light, and I'm going, it's Messages of Hope, and I am going to read the word for word and talk about some of the key points that come up through the message. So, helps if I get to the right page here. There we go. Dearest beautiful beings of light, as you come into completion of the year 2009, remember I said it was the beginning of the Decade of Light, 2010, a year of integration of mastery energy, you are moving into a new decade of light, unprecedented on your earth. This past year was about much transition, completion, and integration. So those are maybe new words. Everybody knows you transition from one thing to another, you complete something. Integration, when we're working with energy, it's all about, you get the mental awareness, but it really is applying it in your life. So we're going to talk a lot about that. The year 2010 heralds the beginning of a whole new harmonics of vibration. Now listen to the word harmonics. You may equate it to music. It's about, you come in to listen to a symphony and you hear the violins warming up and the oboe and the drums and that, and it's all a cacophony of energy and sound, and all of a sudden the conductor comes in and raises the baton, and then it all comes together in this beautiful harmony of sound. And that's what's happening within us, within our bodies and with our minds, within our spirit. The amplification of all your personal gifts, and I'm going to emphasize personal gifts, in whatever medium you so choose to express them, will be very noticeable and applicable. So personal gifts can be a talent, can be a skill, but what they're really referring to is a gift of knowing, of consciousness, of more intuitiveness, of more psychic abilities, having visions, having sensations. And that's really being amplified for us through this whole decade. There has been much preparation work done energetically, and I'll talk lots about energy, on all levels for this next stage of your evolution. We're always evolving. Humanity's been evolving from the beginning of time, and we're on a very accelerated path now to evolve into a much more conscious species here on our earth. So rejoice in that knowing, share it with others, and celebrate. Celebrate and acknowledge those gifts in yourself and all who you connect with. So when you feel that in yourself, then you actually see it in others. Those who stand before you and interact in your life in this coming year and years will emanate a love and radiance that will be breathtaking. And so as you feel that within yourself, you really are one of them. So we're all here to radiate that. That is why we refer to you as light beings. You have a physical body, but inside we're really just this beautiful light emanating out and making all kinds of shifts and changes in our world right now. That is not only what you are, but who you are. You are the angels who have come to earth at this time to be the light. You are not just to read about it, but to talk about it, to live it, and to breathe it. The proverbial light bulb moments will literally become the norm. You know when you get that ping, or you get the hair stand up, or you just get a chill go through you, it's going to become the norm, not the abnormal. You have shed so much density and negativity in the past decade. You will now truly experience your lightness within your physical body. You will actually see it in others with your physical eyes and your inner vision. So I'm going to leave you with that thought about inner vision, and we'll be right back and share some more wisdom with you. Thank you. See you in a minute. just a quick recap. I was reading the channel from us about the decade of light, talking about this decade we're in, and I'm going to continue on with the actual words and the transmission, because there's an energy that comes through the words. And we left it off with you'll be able to see each other, the light within each other, with your physical eyes, but also within your inner vision, where that's where our gifts are being amplified. A lot of people already do feel and see visions, and it's going to become more common and more accessible, and to be able to feel that intuition feeling. And guys call it gut feeling, women usually call it intuition, but it's really the same thing, that inner knowing from that what's appropriate for you and what that calling is. So back to the channel. The depictions in your beautiful artwork of the glow around celestial beings, it's not a fantasy or a product of your imagination. The glow is very real, and now you have the physical capacity to clearly see and emanate it. So you'll start to look at people and they'll be glowing, and you look at yourself in the mirror and you'll be glowing. That's the light from the inside. I had a dear friend years ago who was a nurse, and she worked in the OB unit where the babies are born, and she always knew when a baby was not going to do well and would pass on because it didn't have the glow. She could see energy, she could see auras, and that's happening for more and more people now. So it's because we're light beings. Your scientists and physicists are doing much to substantiate this phenomenon, thereby making it more accepted in your mainstream world. Not just within your spiritual communities, because your scientists are looked upon as having credibility and will reach those who need that validation. So lots of us are very left-brained. I need that. I need the proof. I need the science to prove. I didn't believe in this stuff for a long time until I actually started having my own experience, very mystical experiences. And so the scientists are now proving spirituality, which I think is actually really awesome, because indigenous cultures from the beginning of time have understood this, that there's so much more in the unseen world and so much more to us. So back to the teachings. We have called this the Decade of Light because you have truly moved through the darkness and can embrace and embody your light anytime you choose, with grace and easy. And I'm emphasizing your light because, again, we all have it. There is much support from the celestial and cosmic realms for you to do so. Sing your song, dance your dance, create your art, write your book. And there's a lot of people being called to write books right now to share with the public about the very mystical experiences that people are having. And do whatever feeds your soul, and infuse all that you do with your light and your love. Emanate your luminosity and light up your world with joy. So I'm going to say that phrase again, because that's going to be part of the teachings of these episodes are going to be a home assignment, and this one is going to be part of the home assignment. So emanate your luminosity. So yeah, what if you actually believed you were an angel? And light up your world with joy. So I'm going to leave you there with that message, information, just to let it percolate a little bit. And then we'll be right back. Thank you. Welcome back. Quick little recap. I was just sharing the words and the information from the channel, from us. And I was wondering, did you feel the energy and the vibration as it was coming through? I get lots of feedback from different people when I do group channels or private channels, that even if they're a little skeptical, they actually still feel it in the body. And that's where, we are in a human body, and we are a spirit at the same time. So there's this merging that's happening of our divine essence with our physical body, and the whole body mind, spirit, and heart are merging to create something very unique. And as more people are open to that and aware of it, there's more kindness in the world, there's more sharing, there's more collaboration, and it's also very, very empowering to feel that from the inside, that we are something more than what we've been told, that we, truly are the angels here on earth. And I've had that experience, and to look at other people and realize that they are angels as well. So one of the things I want to give you today to support you is, it's actually called an invocation of your divine essence. And it is, an invocation is a calling in. So we all have a spirit. So when our spirit leaves this body, there's many theories about where it goes, what other realms exist. But for now, it's important to connect with that spirit right now in your own body. So this is an invocation. So if you want to just sit back, it's like a meditation. And just relax and receive, listen to the words, or just feel the energy, because it is about going deeper inside. So just take 4 really deep breaths, and knowing that those breaths connect body, mind, spirit, and heart. And when the 4 work in harmony with each other, it creates a state of well-being and a sense of inner peace. And it is from that place of inner peace that all is possible. Your physical well-being, your mental clarity, your emotional balance, and your spiritual knowing. Now as you breathe in, allow yourself to connect with that beautiful divine essence of who you are. That place deep inside of you that only knows love, joy, health, empowerment, whatever it is that you want to draw into your life. Know that you can do that, and you have this inner knowing. And as you breathe out, just let go and allow. Letting go of all the old belief systems, thought patterns, conditioning, and any behaviors that are no longer serving you. Letting go of the denser energies of doubt, fear, worry, guilt, anything again that's holding you back. Embrace them, knowing that they have served you, and that it's time now to allow them to be disposed from your energy field, out of your body. And as these denser energies leave, they create an empty space, a void inside of you, a void that can now be filled up with higher vibrational energy, the energy of the truth of who you are in all of your glory and magnificence. So as you breathe in, just allow yourself to feel what that feels like from the inside, to feel your truth, to feel your empowerment, and to feel your divine essence, because that is where all of your guidance comes from. It always has, and it always will. So just breathe and feel. Take a moment now and really feel all of that. Well, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back to tell you what you can look forward to in our next episode. We'll be right back. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the invocation that we just did. We did an invocation of your divine essence, and I encourage you to do that as often as you can, as you will feel it at a deeper and deeper level. The invocation is actually available. It's in the beginning of my first book, Your Mastery, Live It Now, and it's also available on my website for you. It's a guided meditation. So remember I talked to you earlier at the very beginning about a home assignment. So when all these concepts are wonderful and beautiful, and as we take them from the mental state and bring them into actual tangible application, that's how you know that they're working. So I'm going to give you an assignment with each episode that you can contemplate. There might be some journaling, there might be some actions, but it will help you to integrate what you just heard, and the thoughts it might have stirred up for you. And so for this week's home assignment, I'm going back to the last line in the actual channeled message. And it's, you know, to emanate your luminosity and light up your world with joy. So how can you do that this week till we meet again? Think about that for a minute. How can you emanate your luminosity and light up the world with joy? Yeah, there's some simple things, you know, you can be kind to people, but there's more. And if you really sit with that, you will be inspired. You'll find ways to connect with people to bring them joy. You'll find ways to bring more joy into your world. And joy is one of the highest vibrations. So before I tell you about next week's show, you can go to my website at judithonley.com, nice and easy to remember, for lots of resources to support you. And while you're there, be sure to sign up for my newsletter because you'll receive a free gift when you do. So, love for you to join me for next week's episode, How to Be an Uplifting Force for Self and for Others. And we all know we have impact on others, not just with our personality or our opinions, but our actual way of being and our energy. I will show you how to be aware of having a beneficial impact on others and thereby creating your own upliftment. I look forward to you joining us next week for more awareness, more inspiration. So I'm sending you lots of love and light. Till then, keep on shining. Bye, everybody.